Yesterday, I released a video where I made a satirical video in response to Taylor Swift's new video. Now, I didn't get a lot of sleep last night, as you can probably tell. I probably look tired, but I thought that it would only be right for me to also give a couple serious thoughts about her video. So a lot of Christians were offended because Taylor Swift stereotyped Christians as being immoral, toothless hicks who are full of hate and who hold up hateful signs. And personally, the only people that I've seen hold up signs like that are the Westboro Baptist Church, which is made up of mostly a single family and don't represent Christianity at its core. But culture somehow gets the impression that they represent the majority of Christians. And I think this mostly comes from politics and media, but we can talk about that some other time. Anyway, some people found it not only offensive that Christians were only portrayed as dumb, toothless rednecks who can't spell, but also shown to be immoral people. Now, let's look at this from the standpoint that she's right, and Christians are really some of the most awful people in our society today. Now, there's two things that I want to say about that. First, I noticed that a lot of people attach their value to different things. For some of us, it's being a good person. For some of us, it's eating healthy or being a certain race or being successful, being in support of equal rights, or being part of some religion or political party, and anything like that. There's a lot more, of course, but you get the idea. It really can be anything that you say to yourself, I am valuable because of this. This thing is what makes me a valuable person. Now, I've noticed that whenever we want to attach our value to things, we know at some level that if we lose those things, our personal value is at risk. So we work really hard to maintain that identity. Then it becomes only natural for us to get overly emotional when we have to defend those things. But this can also be a slippery slope. A lot of the time, in order to maintain our value, we naturally start to look down on others who we think don't have the things that give us our value. So, for example, if you get your value from being rich and being a hard worker, then you probably will start to look down on people who you see as poor and lazy. If you think that your race is what makes you a valuable person, then you can't help but feel better than those who are a different race. The same goes for political movements like the LGBTQ movement, as well as religious movements. This is why you see people flipping out about not having their views validated. So why is it that I, as a Christian, I don't get overly emotional when people talk about how bad Christians are? Even if I granted that Taylor Swift's portrayal of Christians was an accurate representation of most Christians, which I think it obviously isn't, I know that my value does not come from how good of a person that I think I am. If we as Christians really understand Christianity, then we realize that we aren't saved because we're more moral or spiritual than other people. We're only saved because we realize that we're not. We aren't saved because of what we do or what we've accomplished. We're only saved because of what Christ did and what he accomplished. Now, if you notice, every other religion, at least that I know of, says that if you work hard, then you'll be good enough for God. And Christianity says that the work has already been done for you. All you have to do is accept it. Every other religion says, I'm here to help you find God, and Christianity says, I'm God come to find you. Now, if we have a religious view that gives us our value based off of how good or moral that we are, then we'll naturally run the risk of always looking down on those who we don't think are living as more of a life as we are. And oddly enough, we become less moral in the process. The only difference now is that our self-righteousness blinds us from that fact. But as a Christian, I know that I'm not valuable because of how good I am. So how could I possibly look down on someone else who I think isn't living as more of a life as I am? I know that whatever they're struggling with comes from the same places as whatever I'm struggling with. I couldn't possibly feel better than them, especially when it comes to my salvation. And my second and last point is that even if Christians are the worst people in today's culture, Christianity has a built-in mechanism for correcting that. Christianity is founded on the person and teachings of Jesus Christ, who commanded for us to love one another, love your neighbor as you love yourself, do your best to make peace with all men as long as it depends on you, love and pray for your enemies, and so on. The more that Christians read the teachings of Jesus and the apostles, the more that they'll learn about how Christ told us to live. Anyways, that's just a couple quick thoughts that I had about the video. A lot more could obviously be said about the video, but I just wanted to give you guys another quick perspective that I think might help punt things into a greater context. And I just hope that gives you guys something to think about. If this is your first time here, make sure you go ahead and subscribe because I have a lot of interesting stuff that I'm excited to get out soon. And also check out one of these videos that's somewhere around here. And lastly, can I just ask you, what do you meme?